Hey everybody, this is Alessandro. Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to give you an advice about your video reference because this is a mistake I'm starting to see over and over again, even from my student when they try to do an action shot or every body mechanic and they're using a reference and they struggle sometimes with the spacing, how the character move. And I give them this suggestion, and I think now it's time for me to share with everyone else on my channel. So I have an example here. I have this video reference, and as you can see, the character is jumping around and the camera somehow cannot follow him, right? And so the struggle that sometimes I see is that, for example, on a movement like this, where the character is jumping forward, flipping, and then landing, normally the student or the animator will look at the fact, okay, the hip more or less in this kind of side of the screen, right? When it's jumping, it's only moving a little bit forward, right? And then when it is landing, it kind of stay more or less on the same place, right? So that at the end of the day, they tend up to do this kind of an action like this without a proper spacing. It means without the character actually physically moving the 3D space properly. The reason is because they are not studying properly the reference, first of all, and sometimes they are also like confused about the reference itself. Let me tell you exactly what I mean. So as you can see, guys, the reference is, we have a character locking frame and everything, but in the reference, when actually they shot this video, there was an actual person holding the camera and recording his friend, right? So what is doing the cameraman is actually tracking the actor here and kind of following his movement. So that means that the actor will most of the time staying in place in the center of the reference, and when actually in reality in the whole 3D space is actually maybe moving forward, right? And I realize so many times student or junior do not really understand about that, and so they end up having the character kind of stay in place where in the reality it should move forward. So very quickly, guys, how can you fix a problem like this? So my solution to you is that you need to adjust the reference and moving it accordingly to the 3D space. So how do you do that? I will make a very quick example, guys. So you'll see the camera over here, for example, is not moving that much, right? But if I set a key on frame 1, first of all, let me see if I'm in spline. No, let me go to spline. Okay, and now here is not moving much, so I can put a camera every 30 frame, right? But as you can see, if you look at the flag over here, right, you can see that the environment is moving. So what you have to do, choose a point of reference. In this case, was the corner of this flag, and kinda move it back so it kinda match the previous frame, right? Something like that. Doesn't necessarily to be super pixel perfect, right? I'll try to do as best as I can with the things, but doesn't have to be super perfect. Something like this, it should work, right? And obviously the camera might rotate in 3D space, but we can do nothing about it. And so then after, when the camera started to move a little bit more, as you can see here, I will start to have like key every 10 frame, something like that, right? I'll do more and more. And so here, for example, I'm pushing it back, right? And we'll go here, say here needs to be a little bit back, right? Something like this, more or less, right? And here is going down. And so obviously what I'm trying to do, okay, I need to bring this down a little bit. See the previous movement, the previous key. And obviously, as I said, guys, sometimes the camera is tilting, rotating. Well, there's nothing we can do about that, right? We try to do whatever we can, right? And here obviously say, okay, Alessandro, what's happening here? Now the flag cannot disappear, right? Well, use another reference. For instance, we could use the angle over here, right, of this mattress, whatever it is, right? See, kind of locking here. Again, another one over here, right? And we push it up. Okay, let me do little by little. Okay, something like that, more or less. Sometimes I look at a different object, right? Because again, the camera is rotating, so it will never always gonna be perfect, right? Again, I choose a reference that is a bit extreme, to be honest, right? And we are going from this one to this one over here. Okay, so overall, guys, as you can see, I've done a first pass, more or less having a key every 10 frames, 15 frames, in a few cases here, 5 frames. And the issue, obviously, is because the camera, someone is holding the camera and everything, it might not move as linearly as I set the key, right? So sometimes if I play this one, you're gonna see some weird shake, right? And that's kind of normal. So for me, I rather spend another half an hour and started to have some like I would say a more advanced adjusting on the reference, right? So I want to do a few extra frame whenever is possible. Okay, guys. So for example, here I know where we were looking at the corner of this one over here, right? Slightly adjusting it a little bit, right? And go from here to here. Okay, maybe here at the beginning it's not really needed because there is not much movement. But here, as soon as I started to do this between these two, say, okay, let me see if I put another key here, if it can stay. See now it's moving back and then moving up, right? So I wanna kind of adjust that section a little bit, right? Boom, boom, right? And sometimes I realize that then I need to adjust even the key that I'm doing later, right? And you see, like, first of all, obviously you want to make sure you go in the graph editor and there is no weird movement, right? So you see here there is a weird moment. There is a moment where it kind of move over here, right? So you kind of want to adjust that. Maybe another key over here. Oops, sorry. Here. And I do understand, guys, this is not fun, but I rather do this at least once at the very beginning, and then I have a good reference and I don't have to worry about this anymore because I know my reference is locked. I spend those extra 30-40 minutes and it can help me a lot more when I do the animation, especially at the beginning. Obviously when you're advanced, guys, you don't need those things anymore, right? But especially at the beginning when you're starting from reference and everything, you kind of want to adjust those stuff a little bit more, right? And so on. You see here you have another quick shake, right? And you want to bring it down, right? Oops. Okay, guys, so more or less I had a bunch of other keys. Okay, for this tutorial I don't think I need to make it very like a really perfect, but I just want to share with you the idea, guys. And so if we take a look at the difference now, ideally you have the reference only staying here, but once I adjust the reference, let's take a look how much the character actually is moving forward to the right side. Okay, it's actually going from from the very beginning here to the very end, so it's actually moving quite a lot. But sometimes students who do not do that, they'll animate the character, keeping the reference in here, and keep in mind, hey, my character actually is not moving a lot, it's gonna stay always in place, or maybe they're just gonna figure out they move it a little bit, when actually the character is moving a lot into this space, and it's going from this position to this one over here, right? And I would say this is a really good way to do that, okay? To really understand how your character is moving in speed and in spacing, not just in speed, guys. And just to be clear, guys, I didn't manually like this, but I'm pretty sure there are tools that can let you do this a little bit easier. It's not that painful as I did it. It took me like more or less 40 minutes. But I wanted to show you what you can do, even just very quickly, even if it's not as precise as mine, but at least, without any plugin, any other extra tool, I always want to show you guys methodology that you can just do with the basic Maya. Okay, guys? And I can guarantee you, if you do this, will help you to understand a lot better how your character is moving in the 3D space. Alright guys, I hope you enjoy as usual. If you have any question, let me know. See you next time. Ciao guys.